Welcome to Rory Games. Let's play Civilization 5 R.E.D. mod. Revived. That's right. This is the revived version of the much-loved Total Conversion game for Civ 5. We are playing as Charles de Gaulle, as you can probably tell from the French speech, and from the fact that we are looking at the French screen. So, we begin in 1939, July 1st, I believe. We have an army that's 3 stars, navy that's 3, space 1, air forces 3, economy 4, production 3, diplomatic situation 5. So we have a decent navy, we have a decent economy, and we have good diplomacy. We need to beef up our production. And oh man, do we need to rebuild our army and air forces. So let's get started. Okay, let's just... Okay, mess around with the audio options. Let's get back to it. So here we are, 1939, July 1st, and we are in command of the French. So the Germans will be going to war soon with Poland in September. So we will follow suit by declaring we are playing this mod historically. So we are bound by the the natural progression of the war in terms of the dates to start the wars and that sort of thing. You can see to win the game, we need to capture 8 Axis cities: Berlin, Frankfurt, Hamburg, Munich, Rome, Naples, Milan, and Bologna. To lose the game, Germany and her allies would have to take London, Liverpool, but more importantly, Paris, Cannes, and Bordeaux, and Dunkirk. So it's our job as the first main Western allies to stop the Germans in their tracks. Unfortunately, the army I'm given to do that with is relatively meager. So here on the homeland in France, and I say homeland because we'll get to the colonies in just a minute, we've got Char B1, one of the better heavy tanks of the war, an AMR 35, and a Samoa S35, another excellent tank. I've got an anti-tank crew and 2 divisions of infantry. So right away, I know I'm going to need more infantry. So you can see here, this is the Maginot Line with the opposing west wall. And what I need to do is, or what I'd like to do is make sure each one of these positions is manned. I don't have to have them manned. They're self-sustaining forts, but they are really the ideal defensive position. That's why they were built there. So it only makes sense for me to garrison them all. So that said, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now I've got 2 infantry divisions. So before September, I need to procure 3 more. So let's go ahead and disperse my my military. Let's get them set up, and then we'll jump into the city screens and start working on production. We'll send you straight to the Citadel. Cover the far left. I think I like the anti-tank gun here in the hills. And yeah, we'll keep the... Let's put the B1 in reserve. Let's move the Samoa over here to be the first unit of what I'll need to build a left flank here, a couple infantry divisions more, as well as anti-tank and another tank division, something like that. Really, it all depends on how much I can cobble together before the war starts. Okay, so there we are. Next thing we're going to do is pop over to our navy here. That's off the coast here of Brest and Saint-Nazaire. And what we're going to do with them first off is let's park the battleships. Okay, here in Brest, let's put a cruiser outside Brest, just kind of chilling. So that'll be our heavy hitters kind of back in port. Now with our destroyers, we need to start proactively looking for U-boats. And obviously we'll send our U-boats out as well. Okay, so we're spreading out, we're on the hunt. I think we'll have convoys coming in from here out of the Mediterranean and potentially up north from Canada. Coffee. Okay, so that's all we can do back in France on the ground in the Navy. Let's see what our Air Force consists of. It looks like right now we've got just these 2 units. This Moraine, which is a really light early war fighter. And actually, yeah, let's move into Reims. It's more strategic. And this block tactical fighter, or tactical bomber rather. So let's rebase him over here at Reims. So I'm interested to see, before we jump into the production screen here, and after production we'll head to the colonies and take a look at those. I'm interested to see here, what happens to the French technology after 1940. I've never played France. In fact, I've only ever played Germany, Russia, and Great Britain in this game. Germany's just a hoot. So this whole playthrough is going to be totally new to me. I'm imagining that the tech will mostly stall, and then maybe I start getting Lend-Lease equipment from the Americas, like Sherman tanks. I don't know. I'll be at a severe disadvantage against Germany late war if I don't have heavy tanks. I guess that should inform my strategy, which why don't we go ahead and talk about that before I jump into the city screens. In 1939 here, my goal is just to hold them back. So I'm going to stay on the defensive throughout northern France. And eastern France, I guess. Gonna, like I said, man the Maginot very heavily. I'm going to have a whole nother force here on the left flank. Consisting primarily of anti-tank and armor with a couple entrenched infantry. Then I'm going to try to make a push through Nice, and my early war goals by the end of 1939, really the end of 1940, is to capture, these 4 cities in northern Italy: Genova, Milan, Bologna, and Venice. That'll give me southern access into Germany. It'll also effectively cripple his best ally. So then, in 1941, the goal will be to invade from the south in through to Munich, as well as through the Low Countries toward Cologne and Essen. So we'll kind of see how it develops. That's my overall plan. If I see opportunities earlier than that, or opportunities to change my plan that would be more advantageous, then I definitely will. So let's go ahead and start in Paris and get our production set up. Okay, so we got 39. This is going to be one of my biggest cities. I guess I should go through them all and find out. I need a solid 4 cities with high production to produce military hardware. So this will be one at 39. Canada 6. 5, 2, 8. 1, 8, 9, 3. Okay, Marseille has 25. That will likely be a naval shipyard. He says 11, that's pretty good. Okay, Toulouse, excellent, 29. So that'll be land or air. Lyon, 37, great. So that's, after Paris, my highest producing city, I think. Okay, St. Nazaire's got 13, so that'll be another shipyard. Alright, cool. So what I'm going to do is, Paris has its factory. I'm going to start with land. Land is definitely the most important here. Okay, let's see. Khan could potentially build a factory. 60 turns, it's going to be too long, so we'll start producing some money. Reims money, Metz money, Brest money, Cherbourg. How quickly can you build a factory? 45? Let's do it. Okay, Dunkirk. You are a special case since you're one of the main objectives of that Axis. We need to start barricading you up. Okay, Palmyra. Here's a look at our first look at our colonial holdings. Let's see, you could do a factory in 45, you could do barricades in 10. I know there's some sort of uprising, I think, in Syria, so we need to have some troops here if we want to hold. So let's go ahead and start with barricades there. Okay, in CD I'm going to build infantry, and I'm going to explain why here when we come back to the colonies. Okay, let's do money. Okay, Marseille needs a factory. Bummer. I was hoping it already had a factory and we'd be putting in the shipyard. That will have to wait. Okay, this is a tough one. I think I need barricades first and then factory. Okay, Toulouse, definitely factory. Ah, it has a factory already. Great. So what I'm going to do is my two biggest cities in terms of production are Paris and Lyon. So Paris is going to be a land factory. Lyon is going to be an air factory. And I need another land factory, so that'll be Toulouse. Okay, speaking of Lyon, here we go. Let's get them going. We'll do small and medium. Bordeaux, yeah, you keep making money, 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 money. Let's get factory going here. We need a second shipyard. Alright. Back to Paris. So, production's done. Man, it sucks I can't start building units anywhere other than in CD Alabès. And oops, forgot La Rochelle. Money. So I'm gonna have to blast through these factories real fast because I need units bad. I need units bad. Okay, so on that note, I am going to evacuate the colonies. I know that's crazy, but I need the units at home. Right here you're gonna see a unit, one tank unit that I can send over on my left flank on the Belgian border, and another tank unit that I can keep in the south as an exploitation armor when I make my breakthrough in northern Italy. I'm going to keep my Foreign Legion here. Their job will just be to hold. If there's any sort of uprising or invasion from Germany, just keep holding this place. I'm just going to keep cranking out infantry every 23 turns. That's the goal, anyway. So, last thing I need to do here is rebase this fighter. I need to bring him back to the homeland. So we'll go Mulhouse. Okay. Great, so here's my Mediterranean fleet. Primarily going to use them to harass and attack the Italians. So I'm going to get into some positions here. We have another battleship. Okay, so we'll move this guy. Looks like that's my biggest ship. These are my two biggest, so I will leave them back here, kind of hidden behind Corsica. And I'll go do some scouting with my destroyers. Oh, they have a big army. Looks like mostly infantry. And I can pull this guy up to Nice. Okay, so they'll be kind of defensive and offensive here. I'm going to count on destroyers to harass the enemy, hit their subs when I have opportunities to, as well as scout their formations along the coast. I'll use my heavies to attack units on land, at least initially, and then once I have broken the Italian military, I will use them to hit city targets. Once I have Marseille up and running as a shipyard, I should be able to start cranking out quite a few. cruisers and battleships. Alright, in Syria, let's see. So Syria I'm going to hold. I think I'm going to hold. Yeah, I'm going to hold Syria. I believe there's an uprising coming here, if I remember correctly. So I will leave this whole unit stationed here. Also, if Rommel or the Italians can break through the British, I'll have some forces here to help them out with. Okay, so that ends our first turn. That's a pretty easy, quick setup. You can see here that the Western Europe and North Africa map on Civ 5 is being used. It's beautiful, well done. Yeah, so I think we are ready to proceed. Basically, because I'm playing historically, it will be forced alliances. Okay, nice trade route established. So we got a new convoy transporting 500 oil. So this is our oil pipeline here, our lifeline rather. I don't think we produce much oil back home. So wherever this is coming from, we need to protect it. Okay, so let's go ahead and send these guys to Marseille. Fortify up all of our infantry and our anti-tank gun. I'm intentionally leaving this hex empty. It's even though it's a river crossing, it's a really nice place to set up kind of a kill box. You'll have German infantry advance over because it is free, and then I'll be able to hit them with anti-tank infantry. The works. Let's rebase you at Reims. I'm going to keep my air assets in Reims and Mulhouse. Oh, no, that's a fighter too, I see. So I have two fighters. Two fighters, no bombers. Interesting. Interesting force composition there. French Air Force. There we go. There's some Italian Navy. You thought you guys could hide. Now look at you. You do have subs. You are a big Navy. Comparable at least in size to mine, if not bigger. Interesting. Okay, we'll send them in there to chill. We'll bring out our big ships until war has been declared. Leave these ships here running recon on the Italians. Go ahead and put all our fighters into intercept mode. Okay, since I've got oil coming from down here, I'm going to send a destroyer and a sub down to protect that route. And although I haven't seen any convoys coming from this area, I gotta think that they'll be coming at some point. So I will continue scouting. Searching the big ocean. Put you to sleep, and next turn. So for those of you interested, I will put all the mod information in the description link. Shout out to the developers, 3 folks who picked this up. Really stoked that they did. It's a super fun, easy to play World War II turn-based strategy game. And you know, if you're familiar with Civ 5 with convoys, so we're gonna keep an eye on that. Often I play this. Ooh, we've got some announcements to go to. I play this game in gold. Yay. So it's coming out of Casablanca, right? So we have oil and gold coming from Morocco. Okay, So we definitely want to protect Casablanca. So can I station? I can. I go ahead and move the Legion into Casablanca. I'll have an infantry unit here, 21 turns, station him there. Okay, so we've got the new convoy transporting gold. We're going to declare war on Hitler in 5 turns. That sucks. I am so not prepared. Okay, there you can see the very first German unit, infantry, opposing the Maginot. Okay, so we're going to have to probably start buying some units. Okay, so let's go ahead and hang out on Corsica. Trick here with Naval is not to get surrounded. So I'm going to be fighting and trying to draw in the Italian Navy through these straits between Corsica and what is that, Sardinia? So I want to kind of let them attack me and fight them around these islands so that I kind of have my back to the wall, back to a wall at all points. And then also it helps me if I can kind of trap them against the coast, then I only need 3 units to surround it. So anytime you have a smaller force, whether it's, these are kind of land tactics I'm talking about, but small forces can hold off a larger force, using the terrain. So same will happen here in this island chain. Out in the open ocean, at this point, I think the Italian army probably has the better on me, or sorry, the Italian Navy, because they have all their forces stationed in the Mediterranean, and my Navy split between the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. So we shall see how that goes. But that's all the time we have for today, so I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.